It already started.
And all right, dude. All right.
All right, here we
Hello,
go.
everybody, and welcome to episode number 16 of the Half Brothers podcast. My name is Jacob,
My name is Glenn.
and as you can tell by the podcast name, we are in fact half brothers. And today is a monumental episode in the history of the podcast. Glenn, you wanna tell them why?
Yeah. So back when we started doing this in '98, we had a vision. We had a vision that one day in 2025 we would actually start doing this. But so we've been working on this for a long, long time, especially since I consider the fact that Jacob wasn't born yet,
I
because
was
it
born
was
in '98.
January of '98
Oh,
when I came up with this idea. So, it's pretty incredible. That being said, when I was 2 years old thinking about this, I was like, one day we're going to have a podcast, which didn't exist at the time, and we're going to have some guests on the podcast with some pretty cool things going on in their lives. And so today I am honored to introduce our very first guest. Ladies and gentlemen, when I met this person, I threw a shoe at his head because he was trying to kiss my sister. Folks, my brother-in-law, the man, the myth, the legend, Joey Josephine Adelman. How's it going, my brother? How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I just made up the Josephine part. It's folks, we got Joey with us, my brother-in-law,
That's
big bro.
accurate. You guessed right.
Is it? It's
Yeah.
okay. I didn't even know that. Actually, I do.
Yeah.
Wait, what is your? Hold on. You do have a middle name.
Yeah, Josephine.
No, it's not. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me.
No, Ryan. Ryan is my middle
I did know that. I literally was like, I should know your middle name by now. I've only known you for like 18 years or something.
name. Yeah.
It is interesting. Actually, you know what? Why don't we start with that? Jacob and I are single guys, right? And we've tried out love here and there, and it's failed. Now we are in our mid to late 20s figuring it out. You did a very smart move, was you locked it in at 15 and said, we're just going to go from here and we're not going to change it, right? But man, what's it like to be with one person for so long? How is it to be in love?
Well, one, it's awesome. It's really unique, and me and your sister were talking about that the other day because, uh, you know, it's just almost, I guess, normal or natural that like people have different partners throughout life, or even when you're with a partner, people cheat, people lie, people do things, and what's accepted in certain people's relationships might not be accepted in ours. We've only been with each other, been together since we were 15 years old.
It's
So,
crazy. And how old are you now? How long has it been?
30. Well, your sister just turned 34. I'll be
Right.
34 next month, so we're getting up there. Um, but yeah, it's very unique, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's interesting to see like the dynamic. Like I was just thinking about this to myself yesterday. Like I wouldn't know what it's like to have to date a woman as an adult. I've never, had to do that. Like I've never had to go to a bar and like pick up a woman or, I don't even know I wouldn't even know what to say or what I would do. I wouldn't know how
it's
Same.
rough. It's rough.
Yeah, what's crazy is even when you're in it, you don't know what to say or do. So
Yeah,
it's really
facts.
miserable. And now there's so many standards of like, wow, this is going to become a real incel podcast here in a second. No, but it is hard, man. It is hard. It's just like, but it's really cool to see something special like you guys, and I've been able to watch that love grow. I love when I have actually some friends in Akron that have been together since sophomore year, and their wedding is coming up, and they
Nice.
haven't officially asked me, but they kind of told me that I'm going to officiate their wedding. But I was like, wow, that is going to be so special to see. But they also did the old lock it in sophomore year. And never
You're talking about Badalucco?
Yeah, my buddy Badalucco, and
He's gonna make you officiate the wedding. He's not even gonna have you
we
in
gotta
it.
Cut this out. You can't put these names in it. Okay, this isn't announced yet, but we'll edit
dropping all
that.
kind of governments and everything, man. Dang.
Yeah, man. I honestly didn't expect to talk. Yeah. Social Security 513923. But yeah, man, it is crazy, bro. So I've known you then since you guys started dating in 08? 09?
07.
Oh, 07. You graduated in 09.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. Well,
Yeah, 07, and that's when you threw the shoe at me. I remember that. I can.
yeah, let me hear your
specifically remember
perspective. I want to hear your perspective of that story.
I've never heard this story.
Yeah,
I didn't know
Jacob,
this
yeah, tell
happened.
Jacob the story. We were
So
on
basically the
Windermere.
story is,
Windermere.
yeah, Windermere, the old Windermere, next to their old house. I was kind of courting Allie at the time, and she honestly, to me at the time, was like really intimidating. Like, uh, I was like kind of nervous around her already. Like, it was already awkward and nervous for me to begin with. And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, I'll meet you, at the playground, and like, I'm thinking like maybe this will be the time I could get this kiss in, like or whatever. And here's this little dude there, and he's like, he literally takes his shoe off and like throws it right at my head. And he's like, get away from my sister. I'm like, oh well, this probably ain't gonna work out.
Yeah,
But no, we
man.
did. I think that is the day that we like. I think we snuck off like around the back of the school, and I gave her a kiss. But I was like super nervous. I had to do the little kid from Big Daddy when he like gives him the sunglasses and he's like, now nobody can see you. I had to like put my sunglasses on so I could do it. It might have been her sunglasses.
Yeah, it probably was. And you know what? Actually, you did have a friend there to help you with the pick and roll, and he set the
Okay.
pick and pulled me away. Tony was there at the time because this is
Tony
a
was
long
there.
time ago.
Okay, I was gonna
So
say who was
he
it?
pulled me
Yeah.
away, and he was like distracting me and everything. And he was like, "Glenn, look, let's do this. Let's play basketball." Because I like loved Tony, and I was like, "Dude, yeah, okay, I'm gonna hang out with Tony." But then I'd be looking over, and then Tony would
Right.
distract me, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, cool." And I'm like, "Wait, where's my sister?" It
Yeah.
was literally like a cartoon, man. It was crazy the way he would just like manipulate me and lure me in. But he was being a homie. He had his boys back at the time. So
Yeah.
Wait, so
worked
how old
out.
were you at the time, Glenn?
I was, let's see, that was your sophomore year, Joey.
Yeah, that was '07.
So you guys were 15.
Yeah.
I was 10. I was in 5th grade. That was
Dang.
my playground. That was still my playground. They're out here, smooching on my
You
playground.
were still going to Windermere.
I was
Dang,
still,
dude.
I was running. I was running
He was
those
turning.
grounds. That was my stomping grounds. I ran that place. Okay, I was a 5th grader, K through 5. We were running that ish, man. But that's crazy though. So anyway, I didn't.
Did you
We
go there
didn't
K through
plan.
5?
I went there. I went to all elite schools, academic schools, my entire life. My sister, who
Okay,
you're
she's
married
opposing.
to, she went to a bunch of different schools because we moved all the time, like back and forth, right? Like
You see
Arizona.
You see my hat on there?
That's what's up.
Yes,
That's what's
sir.
up. Cheers to Elliot, baby. Cheers to Elliot. Way better than Barberton for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, man. It's been awesome. It's so cool. Like just we've all really grown up together. So
Right. So
it's,
I was gonna say, I
like,
remember Joey first coming around.
yeah.
yeah,
Jacob was even
like-
littler.
Yeah, I can remember him being around, like at your house and stuff, and like you guys just running around and hanging out, like two little guys doing whatever, And I'm
Yeah,
like,
man.
I'm trying to be like, yeah, get away from us so I can swing on your sister.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. It's crazy to reminisce. And today, one thing that I like, Joey, is whenever I talk to you, we get real nostalgic and talk about nostalgia and stuff. So I want to take this moment to kind of introduce what you got going on. Folks, for those listening, Joey started, I want to say a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, like a year and a half, something like that.
Go ahead. Why don't you let them know what the Collectors Cartel is, what it is, the inspiration behind it, and, yeah, man, why you're passionate about it.
Yeah, so man, I guess it kind of all started probably like 8 years ago or so now. Me and my cousin Randy had gone out to the Hartville Flea Market. I don't know if you guys are familiar or whatever. I know Glenn, you are for sure. Grandpa Harold was a Hartville legend. But yeah, we went out there just I think it was just a normal Saturday or whatever, just on a whim. Let's check it out, and stopped at a Hot Wheels table. And we're like, reminiscing. Man, I used to have that one. Oh, I had that one. Like, let's buy these. They're only $1. Like, so we bought up like some Hot Wheels that we used to have when we were kids. And then from there, it just kind of exploded into like, okay, well, like now let's see which ones are like the most rare that we can find, or like the most valuable, or like finding out about the red lines, which is like the old original ones, and like just different shit. Then, or sorry, trying to keep the keep
You're
the
good.
cussing
You're
minimum.
Keep it going.
It's in my natural dialogue, but
No.
yeah, so we got into Matchbox, we got into all kind of other die-cast cars, and like it started expanding. And then eventually, we were on that just like specifically kind of cars for a while. and then it started to kind of morph into like, all right, well, let's buy some old action figures that we used to have, and like old comics that we used to have, and like ones that we didn't have that we just always wanted, and like stuff like that. And like over the years, it just kept going and going. Me and him started a little YouTube channel that he still runs and does stuff with. It's called Remember These, and it was just about us, like, basically, do you remember these? Like showing off the toys to people and stuff, and like we were getting some pretty good feedback and stuff. But I decided that I wanted to take it like more into like a business side and like start like a. My goal was to have like an online store or maybe a physical store one day, but starting with online. So I like created a website, started an LLC, got my logo and stuff done. I called it the Collectors Cartel, and that's just something like I came up with and said like a long time ago, like when we were collecting, just being dumb. I was like saying like we're the Collectors Cartel, like we're the cartel guys of collecting because we got all the toys and stuff, and like everybody wants what we have, and we're the dealers of it. I was like, it's a cool name, so I just stuck with it, and I started it up. Unfortunately, my website didn't do too well. I had it up for like a whole year. I didn't really get any sales on there, and through talk, I was just talking to one of my other buddies about a site that he has, and it's just so hard these days to draw traffic to a website that people aren't familiar with, and like, it's like think about what websites do you really even go to on a daily basis. Like for me, it's just like YouTube and like I don't know, like I don't know where you guys get wrestling news from, but I've always gone to it's called NoDQ.com. I've been on that since I was like 10 or maybe younger. Like that's always been my website. Like I used to walk to the library and get my wrestling news on NoDQ.com. I still use it to this day. But like
The
other
library
than that,
computers. That's
yeah.
what's up, man.
Other than that though, I don't get on websites. I don't think most people do. Everybody's using apps on their phone or just, whatever. So it's like that kind of failed. But so I'm kind of in a rebranding phase of like what exactly I want the Collectors Cartel to be. My goal is to try to get maybe into like flea market space or something like that. But that's my
Well,
passion, man. I just love toys. I love reminiscing. It makes me feel like a kid again to be surrounded by all my toys and all these like toys I had, toys I didn't have. Like I love just sitting down here and looking at them and stuff. So it's really cool.
yeah, man, for sure. And I will say, I mean, I work in digital marketing and e-commerce, and these companies spend millions of dollars, well, hundreds of thousands, some even millions of dollars on their marketing to get people to the website. So it is very hard to do e-com
Right.
sales and stuff like that. But that's the good thing about social media and some other outlets is it's kind of removing that gap of like, these big companies and the common man, because you've done a great job kind of like really growing your social media. And it's something Jacob and I were just talking about. Like we need to be more consistent. We want to get better at that because we've been getting some more traffic just off a few clips. And we've not been able to be
Right.
as consistent as we'd like, so it's like, but you've done a really good job just like posting and staying consistent and having like this really good
Yeah.
flow and pattern. I'm looking at your TikTok right now. You have 11,000 followers
Mm,
and 118,000 likes. Okay,
right.
I had one video acting like Joe Biden at a Halloween party that I got to go viral. Other than
Yeah, I
that, I've
remember
not
that.
gotten I've not gotten anything. So you've done a
So
really great job, and your social media is really really cool, man. How has that kind of been? Has that been inspiring? Kind of seeing all the views and all the attention you're getting like on TikTok
yeah, so that
online.
it is really cool, and I'll kind of explain that a little bit. Is like, so I got a TikTok years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago. This is back when I was working at the Duchess gas station. And honestly, what blew my TikTok up a little bit in the beginning, I'll be honest with you guys, is I was making lottery videos. I was showing lottery tickets and which ones people buy the most and which ones hit the most at the gas station. And I actually went viral with a lottery ticket video that had over 1 million views. And
Damn.
yeah, so my TikTok blew up a little bit off of that. And then I kind of went dormant for a while and like didn't even really use it. It sat for like months or like maybe a year. And then, once I started to do the Collectors Cartel thing, I was like, you know what? I already have this TikTok and it's already got like some followers and some likes and stuff. So I was like, let me just change the name and rebrand it, you know what I mean, into what it is now. That way I already have a base to start with. And so about a year and a half or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, I had half of what you see there. Like, what did you say? I have 11,000 followers.
Yeah, it's like it says 10.9K, and you're a few off from 1,000 followers. Yeah,
Okay. So
or
so I was
11,000.
probably
Yeah.
at like five or so when I decided to make this decision. I had maybe 5,000 followers off that, like just making the lottery videos and other dumb videos. I used to make like funny ones and stuff like that. And then not even probably a third of those likes though. And then once I transitioned in the past like year and a half to 2 years, it's just been consistent. I've kind of learned a little bit the pattern, like the algorithm, like what times of day to post hit the best for my viewers and stuff like that. I tell everyone as far as TikTok, like I've gotten pretty good at it, like figuring it out, you know. So it's like it's all about just consistency and figuring out like when your audience is on TikTok, because you know, if not, you're just gonna get buried. Like I posted some really good videos, but I'm like gung ho about it, and it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like, dude, I gotta post this right now. Like, and then like I wake up in the morning thinking it's gonna have like 5,000 views, and it's got like two, and I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, and now it's already buried. It's never gonna catch back up, you know. So that's how that goes.
No, that makes sense, man. I'm terrible with social media. I mean, Jacob's better than I am at it. Like, it's just never been my thing. And I know he used to do YouTube stuff, and but yeah, it's kind of exhausting though, right? Like,
It really is.
I just like when I'm like, oh man, I'm posting more. And I know people that are social media managers that make full-time money doing this.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just crazy. But
Whenever I start posting and stuff like on the account, whenever I'm like getting consistent with it, I'm like, man, it makes sense that like someone's actually doing this as a job. Like,
yeah,
Right.
like there's a lot that can go into it.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time, lot of consistency. Are you hip to my other channel or TikTok that I started with my buddy Joey?
I don't think I am. What's the other one?
So it's called 3M Crew, 3M_crew. And the 3M stands for Motivated Maintenance Man. And we just make
Oh.
videos like at work, and it's either about like maintenance tips or we do like motivational quotes and stuff like that.
I just started following it. I did see that the
Yeah.
other day.
Yeah.
I'm locked in on the Collector's Cartel that I forgot about.
Right. Yeah. So it's
Um,
like you said, it's like it's a lot to even handle one, and now it's like now I'm juggling two. So
That's a thing, man. And there's we found, there are some things where like help you cross post to on like different platforms and everything. But yeah, social media is a game. It's definitely like, it is work, it's a game, but it can be so beneficial, and it does give opportunity to like people like us that aren't working for that don't like own these big companies to put millions of dollars into it. But man, one thing I love, so like you have so many different types of action figures and stuff on the Collector's Cartel and in your man cave, and we'll post some pictures. I can also edit this and pull up some pictures that you send me and stuff. But it's really cool what you got going on there, Jacob. Next time I'm in town, I got to take you over there, and you got to see this thing, because it is.
Yeah, you got to check
Jacob
it out,
actually, Jacob, I loved going to Jacob's house growing up because he had the toys, man.
Yeah.
Jacob, actually, tell him what toys you had, bro. You had all the superhero toys.
That's what I was about to say. I want to hear about what toys you guys like growing up. Like, what were you guys playing with?
Bro, I don't even remember, to be honest. Like,
He had so
the
many.
toys I remember was like the WWE action figures. Those are the ones I remember like really playing with. The other ones, it was all just kind of like, oh, I'm like a young kid just trying to use my imagination the best I can, and just playing with them. But like the ones that I really like remember playing with was the WWE ones, like having the ring, having all the different WWE guys. Like those are the ones I remember playing with the most. I think my mom still has a lot of my toys, like
Nice.
a ton of them, because when my Aunt Brianna was still living here, like Liam would come over all the time, and she would just let him play with them. So I think she still has like the vast majority of like all the toys I ever owned as a kid.
Real quickly, I'll say this: if your mom still has your toys, make sure you tell your mom to hold on to them, because I couldn't tell you the amount of times that I've bought someone's entire childhood from their mom.
Yeah.
And we laugh about it. Me and Randy will literally laugh as we're driving away. Like, she just sold us all that dude's stuff. He's gonna be pissed.
Yeah. And she probably sold it for the whole collection for $20, and there's probably like one toy in there that's worth $20.
Oh, dude, I just it was about a year ago. I bought a tote, it was just like a big bin of old 80s and 90s toys. There ended up being what's called a blue Chrome Dome Warrior from 80s or like maybe early 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line, but it's super rare.
I saw that video on your account. Yeah.
I just sold that for like, I think $130, but I only paid like maybe $10 for the whole bin, and I sold a bunch of other toys out of it too. So It's like, it's a good hustle for sure. So don't let that happen to you,
crazy.
or I'll come by all your toys.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna make sure.
You're gonna ask your mom like, "Mom, how are that toys?" Actually,
I'm about to just go take them. I'm going. I'm going to Costco with her. I'm about to just take them when I go over there.
She's gonna be like, "Yeah, actually, Joey came and bought
Joey
them."
came and bought all of them.
What?
Yep.
That'd be insane.
Happens
bro.
all the time.
That is crazy. I'd be so pissed. I don't know. I mean, dude, I think all my stuff got destroyed like in our old house when it flooded in the basement. And I
Yeah.
also like I consider myself like very minimalist. I hate having clutter and all this stuff, but like my whole family is a bunch of hoarders. Honestly, like my mom and dad, dude, they have so much. I mean, you know, love them, but dude,
Right.
I walk in their attic. I'm like, yo, you guys will die with this attic this full. You know what I mean? Like it's just not. You're never gonna open these bins. Like, but. But I do need to do some digging next time I'm there and see like what I have left. I found some old video games, and I was like
Nice.
from like the original Xbox, and I was like, oh, I got to keep these cases, and like I don't, some of the discs are missing, but I was like,
Jet
Right.
yeah,
Set Radio,
Jet Set Radio. We were
Hey.
talking about Jet Set Radio, yeah, man. But
such a good game.
I mean, that's another thing too, right? I mean, you don't just do toys. What like you have video games, like you show other stuff too, right? Like what else you got going on with the cartel? Because I thought
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said,
VHS
I've
tapes.
expanded now to like I got cards, I got VHS tapes, I got games, I got I got so much stuff. It's like as I look around, I'm like, oh my god, wrestling stuff, Marvel stuff, a little bit of art, just so many different things I got down here. Like you said, I can send you a lot of pictures and stuff, but I have so many things, and it's like I love all of them kind of equally. I have my favorites though, you know what I mean?
What are the favorites?
Um,
If you can, if you want to share. If you don't want to give it
no,
away,
yeah. So I mean, there's different sides to the favorites thing because I have sentimental favorites, like you mentioned, wrestling toys. So the first three wrestling toys I ever got was, I believe, Christmas of '98. So I was 7 years old, height peak of really like start of the Attitude Era. And for Christmas, I got a ring, and my mom got me Owen Hart, Stone Cold, and Shawn Michaels, and I still have all three of those original ones from my childhood.
Dang.
And so those are like really special to me. But then there's ones like I got this Spider-Man that I found at a yard sale for $5, and it's like still in the package, and I found out it's worth over $500. So I'm like, that's one of my like prize pieces that I keep high up on a shelf.
Yeah.
So there's different sides to it, whether it's sentimental
Yeah.
or value wise, but I got a few that
Yeah.
are special.
the sentimental ones you got to keep forever though.
Right,
Those are
exactly,
being
yeah.
passed down, man. And how
So
is
like,
it-
where do you find most of these? Or is it like eBay, thrift stores, yard sales, marketplace? Like, where are you doing all of them?
Right, yeah, all that,
Okay.
everything. I go to a lot of antique malls. Like, fortunately for us around here, like in Northeast Ohio in general, is just like, there's tons of antique malls and stuff. They're all over the
Yeah.
place. Like, there's probably like at least 20 of them within a 20-mile radius of me. So, I hit those up a lot. And then, like you said, the yard sales, marketplace. Honestly, Facebook Marketplace a ton because, like I said, there's like, moms on there selling their kids stuff, don't know what it is. Like, I try to find the
Yeah.
deals. Sometimes it's like there's guys I say all the time, like there's guys that like have booths and stuff at flea markets and different things that are like toy dedicated, and it's like I want to run in there and be like, oh my god, like, but those are the guys that know what they have and they're gonna like the
Yeah.
top
They're gonna
dollar.
sell it at a good price.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you got to kind of find the people that are like, oh, they just have this like random toy with this old like dishware that they're trying to sell. They don't know what the
Yep.
toy is, like, you know what I mean, like.
That's
So yeah,
crazy.
that's how I do it.
I still can't believe a $5 Spider-Man's worth like 500. That's insane. Who
Yeah,
like
dude, it's on a list of the I think 13 most rare Spider-Man toys ever made.
and they
Dang.
just didn't even check. They didn't even think to check. It was just like some family or
Yeah.
some guy like
Yeah, just some family. It was actually I want to say it was on my birthday, like a 4th of July sale. I had Dave drive me out. It was kind of far away. This was a few years ago. I must not have been driving. Our car was probably broke down or something. And I was like, Dave, take me to this yard sale, dude. Like, let's go check it out. He drove me up there. He didn't even get out of the car. He just waited for me. I got out, looked around. I came running back to the car. I was like, bro, you'll never guess what I found.
Wait, so you didn't so you drove out there not knowing the toy was there or you already knew the toy was there?
No, I just wanted to.
You were just wanting to search.
Thrill of the hunt, dude. Like, I can't pass up a yard sale, man. Like, it literally
love
breaks
that.
my heart when I'm like driving by and got something to do and I can't like pull off and like stop at a yard sale. I'm like, it eats me up.
There's something gold there. There's something valuable.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, dude, you do have a really cool, and I don't know if you want to grab this. You can if you want. You don't have to. But Jacob, if you don't see it now, you got to see it at some point, and it's a good transition into our next topic. But he has like a real, not a foam, not a styrofoam or plastic. He's got a real leather and metal replicated
Yeah, check this
WWE title. And it feels
Oh,
like you're in
I
the
actually put it
WWE.
in a glass case recently over here with all my wrestling toys.
Okay, great. Yeah. This is
So I
crazy.
don't know. Let's see how well you guys can see it in there.
Oh, dude, it's
Oh, the vintage one.
yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
so that's the official like old nine. That's not a repop. Like that was produced in the '90s in the Attitude Era. Official Jamar. I don't know if you guys know about Jamar. He's the guy that designed all the old WWE belts.
Okay.
But that's an official Jamar WWF belt, and it's signed by Mick Foley. So
Wow.
yeah, that's dude, one of my prize pieces. I got some cool stuff. So this Hogan face right here. This was only produced in the Denver newspaper Gazette on like the dates like covered up there or whatever, but I think the year was 2000, I believe. This is right after Hulk Hogan changed back from like NWO Hogan to red and yellow in WCW, like dying days of WCW. And
Yeah.
yeah, you could only get this if you bought the Denver Gazette on that date of that Monday Nitro. And so I got that.
Dang.
Like that's a rare item. Got some,
Yeah,
and
bro.
then
Show a
see,
little more of that wrestling wall real quick.
got the this is the same Stone Cold that I got as a kid, the one that I said my mom got me, but I just bought another one to have in the box. But my actual one, where is he at?
This is crazy.
Where'd he go? He's around here somewhere. Oh, he's in the case. He's
Oh,
right
there he
there.
is. Dang.
Yeah, see how I put the blood on his face and everything? I used to go hard with my wrestler. He's got a screw in his neck. He's just like real Stone Cold. He got a surgically repaired neck and everything.
That's you're committed to the story. I love it,
Oh yeah,
man.
for sure.
That's
I got a lot of cool
incredible.
stuff.
Well, yeah, man. As you're getting situated, bro, let me just bring up some context real quick. So, Jacob and I have done a lot of WWE podcasts. You've listened to all of them, and you've agreed with a little bit, and you've disagreed with a lot. It sounds like. So,
Right.
we'll catch up on some of the recent things, but I'm just kind of curious if you want to address any takes we've said in the past that are really just like you're really itching to correct or just chime in or anything. Does anything come to mind? Whether it's me, Jacob,
Man,
both of us.
so I wish I would have revisited the WrestleMania video or a couple videos back, like when you guys were talking about some stuff, because I just remember being like, these are interesting. Hey, I don't specifically remember, so we gotta like
It's all
recap
good.
here. Like who do you guys think is like the top guy right now? Like who are you like really behind? Maybe not
I'm
the
gonna let
top guy, but
Jacob.
like who are you trying to see get a push?
I'll let Jacob take this over real quick.
Who am I trying to see get a push? Definitely LA Knight. Would love to see him get pushed. Would love to see Seth Rollins get unpushed. Not a big Seth Rollins guy. But yeah, I'm loving what they're doing with R-Truth right now. I think that he's deserved it for a while. I think it was on the last pod that I was talking about, like he deserves to wear a world championship belt before he retires. Like all the longest tenured guys in the company have been world champions at some point in their career, like Miz, Cena,
Right.
Orton. Those are the only guys that have been in the company longer than Truth. So like
Right.
he definitely deserves it. But yeah, seeing Truth get pushed is great. I would love to see LA Knight get pushed harder than he is. Would love to see Seth not get pushed quite so hard, and would love to see Gunther not get pushed quite so hard. I was very upset about him winning the championship, but I have seen rumors about what they're planning to do on Monday.
Yeah, me too.
So that's been being talked about for a long time. They were saying that the reason they had Gunther versus Pat was to set this up for what's about to happen Monday. I don't think the belt needs to be involved. It makes some
Doesn't
sense that
need
the
to
belt
be
is
involved.
involved, but I don't think it needs to be involved. But
So,
he's gonna have one last match, and that's gonna be it for him.
right. Okay, so one, I think Jey Uso is trash.
Really,
He is garbage.
man, I love
We're
Jey
about to
Uso.
get into it,
I
bro.
love Jey Uso.
Joey's like, I'm gonna wait on it, but let's say, yeah, nostalgia. I love your sister. I'm a good father. I love my toys. Anyway, y'all are dumb AF, bro. All right, let's get into it. I want to hear it.
I've never seen him as a even close to main event type dude. Like he's
But
just
he says
not.
yeet, and he has a dance.
I will give him that. Like his promo work is trash. Like his promo work is bad, but he's super over.
I don't like the like. I don't know. Like I do believe R-Truth kind of deserves something, but it's like I kind of disagree with this like pity party fan like thing that everybody like we've been doing this lately, where it's like let's push these sucky people because we think they deserve it.
Gosh.
Like no,
That's
man.
fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
I mean,
What
I
are your
think of
thoughts on
another
Dominic
example, like-
Mysterio?
You said what?
Dominic Mysterio. What's your thoughts on him?
oh, Jacob, we're losing you there.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we'll get him back in here. But
Am I not in?
I'll kind of comment on your. Yeah, I definitely. The thing about there we go. He's back.
He's back.
Am I back?
Yeah,
You're
ready. We'll have to edit a little bit of that out. You got shaky for a minute. Your
I'm not
internet's-
editing nothing out, dude.
Okay. Well. Okay.
Anyway. What are your thoughts on Dominic Mysterio?
Oh, Dom. Okay, Dom is great. I think he's good.
Okay.
I don't think he's like. So I'm also not a fan of this like whole trend of the past. This has been going on for a long time in wrestling of like pushing these little tiny dudes that are like not big. Like I like Dom and I like a lot of other guys too, but it's like we got to stop pushing these little dudes to the main event scene. Like I'm kind of more like of the old school Vince McMahon era where it's like I like to see like big heavyweights like be the heavyweights. Like I want to see larger than life guys like Undertaker or like any just someone bigger, And it's like they got these little dudes. Someone was just talking to me about Finn Balor the other day, and I'm like, bro, that guy's like 150 pounds. Like I would toss him.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big Finn Balor guy, but I think Dirty Dom's a great Intercontinental Champion. He's a great fit for it.
Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm getting called for an emergency.
All right, so you don't like these little dudes being pushed, but I was just telling Jacob, I was like, they used to take steroids all the time. Everyone was pretty jacked. So, like, at this point, look, you got all the stars. I mean, yeah, sure. But, and it's, different types. Not like Scott Steiner was, I don't think. Right. But,
no.
I think it's a different type of roid. But, you think about all the big names. And this is me that I was definitely a casual for like 10 years. And now I'm full force because it's John Cena's farewell tour, which I want your take on that too. But to start, like John Cena, CM Punk, Randy Orton, all these guys are like getting older and like are going to be gone, right? Roman Reigns even, like, I mean, he has been battling leukemia and everything, but he's like not going to be around much longer. Like, so they have to push someone. Like, either who or how do you think they should be pushing at this point in time if you don't like people like R-Truth or Mysterio or whatever it is or Jey Uso, or what are you looking for, I guess?
So I honestly think WWE is lacking the next true big name. Like that person hasn't arrived yet. Like the next Cena or whoever it is, the next Stone Cold, I don't think that person exists in the company yet, at least not on the main roster, but I like Braun Breaker. I feel like he's a little undersized. Like he's beefy, but he's like a little short and stocky, Like I feel like they try to compare him to Goldberg, but like I think if you put him and Goldberg like side by side, like you would see he's a lot smaller. So I like him though. He's good. Trying to think of some other. Oh, I like Jacob Fatu. I think he's pretty good. He's solid.
That's what I was gonna say, Jacob Fatu.
I think they could definitely do something with him, but like he's not a face of the company type. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of more like, I don't know. Like you gotta fit a certain criteria to be like, Cody Rhodes is kind of trying to fit in that right now. Like he's like the current like top guy, I guess. I mean, you could say Cena, but like you said, he's on his farewell tour and stuff. I feel like he's just more of like there as a special attraction for the time being. Like everyone knows, like Cody is kind of like the main guy right now.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I feel like, I mean, even watching the Vince McMahon documentary, like every era of wrestling is a little different. Like I just think the Attitude Era is just probably going to be the greatest era of all time, in my opinion, or at least the most unique in that sense of like. Just like how wild they were, how big and strong and on steroids everyone was. Like DX, just like Stone Cold, like it was just insane. And I think we were kind of spoiled with that. And it was also before it was like super mainstream, like it was becoming mainstream. But like watching the Vince McMahon documentary, like showing each like decade of wrestling, it kind of changes. So I hear what you're saying, and at the same time, I also wonder like if you can keep a little bit of that, but also like kind of lean into maybe what the next era is or the new era is. And I do think part of this newer era is more of like underdog type stuff, and that's why the fans are hopping on like people like LA Knight or like Ron Killings, and they're just seeing like all these people that like have not been like super pushed, and they kind of want more indie guys because they feel like maybe Rhodes is too mainstream now, or Cena's obviously way too mainstream, or whatever it is. So but I don't know,
I
man.
actually am a LA Knight fan. I like LA Knight, but the thing with him is like, I forget how old he is, but I know he's like in his 40s.
Yeah, he's not.
He's old.
He's kind of up there as far as wrestlers go. Obviously, I mean, R-Truth is what, like 53, so
yeah.
I mean, who's to say how much mileage he has left? But it's like in my mind, just like historically looking at it, it's like, you don't want to really strap the rocket to a guy that's like already mid 40s and like try to push
Sure.
him because like he's not going to be around forever,
Yeah.
so it's like you got to think toward the future. Like obviously they need someone a little bit younger. So
100%. 100%. Yeah, I think just in the meantime, which I do think Braun Breaker is someone they're trying to
I was gonna
push.
say I think it's Braun and Gunther. I think those are
Yeah.
their two guys they're trying to make superstars.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, well, I definitely think they need they need someone to step up for the next generation. But I think as far as like, I guess I'm just talking more on like storyline in the short term,
Yeah.
like seeing someone like Ron get his, kind of his farewell too, because he's not going to be around long, right? It's like all these dudes are kind of in their farewell era, but it's John Cena's farewell tour. And so I'm curious. I want to hear both you guys right now. It's June. We're midway through the year. Cena's tour is halfway over. I actually, Jacob, I'll let you start this off a little bit and then kind of hear Joey's thoughts on this as well. But Jacob, how are you feeling about the John Cena farewell tour so far?
I think it's going great. I think, when we first talked about it, I wasn't a fan of it just because he wasn't around as much. But now he's around a lot more. He's beefing with literally everybody. I think the heel angle is really starting to actually like work. Like it's more believable because it's been going on for a little bit longer now. It's not like, oh, we're just seeing Cena be a heel because we want to try to make some sort of story. It's like, oh no, he's actually a heel. Like he's been a heel for a few months now. Like he's really a heel. So I think it's going great. I'm a big fan of it, and I love that they're doing all the matches that like you wanted them to do. Like before they started, it could have been like, oh, he's just gonna have matches with all these young guys and put them over in the match, but somehow win. They're doing everything you want them to do. They're doing the Randy Orton, they're doing the CM Punk. As long as they don't make Cody take the belt from him, I think that they're doing a great job with it. They gotta end it well, I think.
How you feeling about it, Joey?
I like it. I think it's grown on me a little bit. In the beginning, I kind of was like, nah, this isn't. It just wasn't hitting for me. But it's grown on me because, like, yeah, as you guys know, there's like different kinds of heels in wrestling. So there's like the slimy heels that like always cheat and like, find some roundabout way to win. There's the cowardly heels that are like they're always like gonna run away, like get their hits in and then run or whatever. And then there's the type of heel which, honestly, I got to credit my buddy Rick Lieb, who is a multiple-time Rubber City Wrestling heavyweight champion here in Akron, Ohio, as teaching me about just like the truthful heel. Like all John Cena is doing right now is just being literally truthful and honest, and like everything he's saying. Like I said, I watched the highlight from SmackDown last night, and he's just telling the fans like literally the truth. And I think people are loving it. I don't think he's getting as many boos as like they probably want him to get because they're trying to make him the heel, and like people just still love him anyways because they know this is it, and like they just want to cheer for him.
Yeah.
But that's the cool kind of heel is when it's like he's just literally out there saying what it really is, and like it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's what when I was watching that promo, that's literally what I was thinking. That's why I was like started thinking like, oh, this is really working. It's because like he is just being his truthful self. Like we did a podcast forever ago where I was like, John Cena like is a heel in real life. Like this is not somebody that I would want like my kids to look up to. Like when you see him on these reality shows, like how he acts and the things he says, I'm like, this is not somebody I would want my kids to like try to emulate or be like. The John Cena in the WWE in the past, like sure, be that guy, hustle, loyalty, respect, all that stuff. But the one who's like, oh, I need to wear a suit to my meals, even in my house. Like I don't want my wife to cook for me because I want to go out and spend money. Like like that guy, I'm like, no, that's a heel. Like that's a in real life heel, and that's who he's being in the ring now. So
exactly,
I think I think it's working. I think it's going well.
Yeah, man. I am just like, now I haven't watched wrestling like seriously in like years until this year, and I when I watched the Royal Rumble and like Raw when Cena came back to like announce at the beginning of the year, like the first Raw on Netflix, Royal Rumble happened, and then what was why am I forgetting?
Elimination
Chamber. I was like, oh, Royal Rumble, he lost. I was like, okay, they'll make it interesting. And then he was like serious in the press conference, and I was like, but I was like mad that he lost. I was like, it's Cena. And then I didn't know much about Jey Uso other than like the whole like bloodline thing and everything from last year. And then at Elimination Chamber, the way that he won, it was like I did feel a type of way because I was like, it was like even in the match, like it was going well or whatever, and then it was CM Punk and him, and then Seth Rollins kind of like ambushed Punk or whatever, and like helped Cena, and Cena like quickly ran to like capitalize on this cheap shot, which like Cena would never have done in the past. Like he would have like not that he would wait for him to shot, but like the way that he jumped at it, like, oh, this is my he would have kind of been disappointed in how he was doing that. And I know he was like, I'm sorry or whatever, but it was like, it was just weird, and it was kind of like, I was so glad that he won, but it was also like, that's not how I want him to win. And then the end made so much sense when he turned on Cody. Did not see it coming. Literally shocked
cool
me.
Moment.
Shocked me to my core, broke my heart. I was sitting on my couch depressed because I was like, are they really gonna send my boy out as a heel? Like I can't root for him now. Like he just did that to Cody Rhodes. Like I was just like, I was literally conflicted because now it's like, you know, one of my roommates loves WWE. He grew up on it. My other roommate doesn't get it, and he's like, but isn't it fake? You know, shut up. All right. So it's real to me, damn it. And so like I'm like figuring out like what do I do, and then I had to call Jacob. Jacob, do you remember that? I mean, we've talked about it before.
Oh, yeah.
But Jacob, what did I say when I called you? How was it?
You were like, bro, what is going on? Why are they doing this? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, he was so upset, dude. It was hilarious.
I was not doing well, but
because I texted him before it happened. I was like, bro, Cena's about to turn heel, and he was like, no. And then it happens. He was like, bro, what?
I mean, it makes sense because I feel like people were kind of like bored of him or a little fed up with just like the long, never changing run of like face Cena. It's like obviously the kids are always gonna love him, the whole Make-A-Wish, all that stuff. Like he is like the kind of like just hero character, but it's like it was getting a little old. So I feel like that's why they had to switch it up, spice it up a little bit.
Sure.
And he needs to be that because that's what, like I said, they're trying to find that next person that's gonna be like really his replacement. And maybe it is Cody, maybe it's not, maybe it's someone else, but it's like whoever finally beats him, and he will be beat, he's not going to leave with the belt. I guarantee that because he's, at the end of the day, he is kind of like old school veteran mindset. And all the old veterans, they all say you go out on your back. That's literally how you go out of wrestling every time you end your career, putting over the next guy, because what sense does it make for you to win if you're not coming back? Like you got to put over the next guy so that the company, the grander scheme of things can continue on, and you got to leave the company better than you found it. You know what I mean? So it's like the whole goal is to build yourself up to finally lose to put the next man over. So it's like they had to make him a heel so that the next top babyface person, and like I said, maybe it is Cody. He's kind of already there established. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe they'll plug someone new in. You know, maybe they'll surprise us and it will be Ron Killings. I don't know. But that kind of doesn't make sense either because like the age thing that I said, you know, it's like you want to give that rub to someone like really big and important. And that was like, if you guys remember, like 10 or so years ago when Undertaker finally lost to Lesnar at Mania after the long streak, it was like, you know, the point of contention with that, with I think the wrestlers themselves and a lot of fans was like, Lesnar didn't need that, and they could have used that huge rub to give to somebody else. Yeah. You know what I mean? They kind of wasted it because then a year or two later, he lost to Roman.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, you could have just gave that to Roman in the first place 2 years earlier.
Right. Although you saying that makes me think like it's definitely going to be Cody, and I'm that's just too predictable, man.
Yeah,
I don't want to see it.
Who would you guys like to see take the title from Cena?
Honestly, Randy, bro. I want it to be Randy.
Yeah, honestly, like if it's someone like already like in the storyline or like on TV right now, I would want it to be Randy, unless they can like come up with some kind of crazy way that like, you know, someone comes back or like some legend from the past, even if it's like just for a moment to be like, no, Cena, you're not leaving with the title, dude. Like Stone Cold comes out, gives him a stunner, like just to take the belt one more time, and like then he just passes it off to someone else. Like right
I
after
would
he's done,
cry so hard, bro, if that happened. Oh my gosh, I'd be so happy.
Like that would be cool.
But the thing with Randy, which, by the way, I was so pissed because we all thought we were going to get Stone Cold Steve Austin and Dwayne The Rock Johnson standing toe-to-toe in the ring one more time at WrestleMania, and they totally teased us with that, which I think that's why they're going back to Vegas next year because Stone Cold said he will not leave Vegas. He's like, if they're in Vegas, I'll come, but I'm not leaving Nevada. It's like, all right. Which is hilarious. But I do think with Randy, because he just looks so jacked still. He's in great shape, and it doesn't seem like he's like super injury prone. Oh, yeah, but it's fine. I mean, he's from that era. as he's bigger now than he was before. Him and The Rock
Crazy.
both bigger now than they were in their prime. But
Yeah.
but Randy could maybe, like, since Cena's out, Cena can't really wrestle that great anymore anyway. Randy can still wrestle pretty well.
Right.
And it sounds like part of his next story is going to be getting 15, right?
Yeah,
So he was
right.
like, so if he does get the title, whether it's from Cena or someone else, he could also help in his next year or two build up the next guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Randy doesn't have the same mainstream like media attention like out there like Cena does because he wasn't in movies, but he does have enough where like
Right.
the RKO is like all over social media. People RKOing their friends, RKOing at graduation.
RKO out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so it is he's mainstream enough where he
Right.
could bring other eyeballs back and the nostalgia of bringing like old fans that might be casuals back. So if anyone's gonna win it, like you said in the story right now, I would love for it to be Randy.
Yeah,
That'd
that
be
would
so
cool.
dope.
And just for like their stories in general, like John Cena's biggest rival in his career is Randy Orton. Randy Orton's
Yeah.
biggest rival in his career is John Cena. Like, it would just be poetic for Randy to be the guy to take it off of him, for Randy to get 15 beating John. Like, it's just the most poetic way to finish the story, I think.
Yeah, that is a good idea. You know what wrestling is lacking though, that I was thinking this recently, like, so they really like tout, like, anytime you see Undertaker or Kane or like even other people, they always say like the Undertaker Kane storyline was like the greatest storyline ever in wrestling, or like, you know, the greatest story arc. And it's like they had so many like crazy supernatural elements, you know, to their characters and like different stuff. And it's like we all just bought into it and thought it was like cool as hell. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like, of course there's not this dude that's like shooting fire and like lightning and doing crazy stuff like that, but like we just all bought it and thought it was cool. But like they don't do anything like that anymore. Like, I think wrestling is like they're in this weird balance of like trying to make it realistic,
Yeah.
and then still it's not. Like, I don't know, like it's like choose a side. But we already have realistic. Like, if I wanted super realistic, I would just watch UFC, you know, or
Yeah.
boxing or whatever. And it's like I want more of the like over the top drama, like crazy characters, like supernatural characters. Like, I love that. Like, I used to like back in the day, Attitude Era, like it was always like intriguing to me that like Mankind was like always just hiding out in the boiler room or like different stuff. Like, I used to imagine as a kid like where all the wrestlers were like hiding out in the building, like they all had their like cool little like themed areas and stuff. And like I don't know, it just seems so much cooler to where like now everybody just has like a first and a last name. There's no characters. Like, it's just two
Yeah.
guys in there wrestling for a belt, and that's
There's
about
no
it.
Undertaker. There's no Kane. There's no Boogeyman. Like,
Right.
there were so many of those characters back in the day, and like I remember hating the Boogeyman as a kid, like because I was terrified of him. Like, I thought he was like the actual Boogeyman.
Yeah.
So, like that's a solid point. They don't do any of that anymore. Like,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
they're trying to a little bit with the Wyatt Six, but then like they'll push the Wyatt Six for like a day, and then they'll be like, okay, yeah, you're not gonna be on TV for a month, and then
Yeah,
they'll push
they
him for
keep,
another
like,
day, and be like, yeah, you're
backpedaling
off
with them.
TV.
I
Yeah.
don't get it with them. And like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I did enjoy Bray Wyatt a lot when he was still alive and like the stuff he was doing, but like, I don't know, even some of that, it just seemed like whoever was writing it, like, it just wasn't hitting the same. Or maybe it's because we're like a little older now, I don't know. You know? So it's like
Yeah.
perspectives change. Well, speaking of that, just to pivot from wrestling into something else, you guys Lil Wayne fans, have you checked out the Carter 6?
Yes.
I have not, no.
Yes.
But I am a Lil Wayne fan. I do like Lil Wayne.
Well, so we
Okay.
we can spend some time on this. So we'll bring Jacob in real quick. Actually, so let me actually pull up the album real quick. I've been listening to it a lot lately. What do you how do you feel about it? You listen to the whole thing, Joey?
Yeah, I did listen to the whole thing, and I hate it. I hated the whole thing.
Really?
I thought it was garbage. But and that's what made me think of that, is like, am I just older now and things hit differently for me? It's not the same, or is it just like he sucks now? Like, I can't. I was talking to Dave about this. I can't decide like if it's me or if it's him. Like, I don't know.
Who's the problem?
It's definitely
Right, right.
Joey.
Who's the problem
Joey is the problem. No, I look, here's the thing about Wayne, bro. Like, I think that his run, I heard someone say this and I agreed with it, so I don't want to act like I made up this point, but from I think it was like 04 to 09, like his run there was like incredible. Like, he couldn't miss. And so now I think I'm at a place where I know he's not going to make the groundbreaking, amazing music ever again. Like, it's not going to be like that. So I'm just trying to, like, I look at it like the Cena farewell tour. Like, I know he
Right.
can't do what he used to, but I just want to enjoy him while he's here. That's kind of
Right.
how I feel about this album. It's not amazing, but really like the song "Hip Hop" on there, featuring Jay. It says featuring Jay Jones. I don't know who Jay Jones
Right.
is, but I like that song "Hip Hop." I think Sharks is cool with Jelly Roll and Big Sean. That's a catchy one. I don't like the Bono one. Cotton Candy with Two Chains. I just think Two Chains is hilarious. So like that song just cracks me. I'm more like laughing the whole time. Some of the bars in there.
Yeah.
Um, if I played guitar, I think is a cool little sentimental thing that we don't hear from Wayne a lot. It was more of like honestly, more like a singer vibe, which Wayne doesn't sing, but with the auto tune, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I do like Rari. I do like Rari.
Okay.
So for me, there's enough on there that I enjoy, that's fun. And I've been listening, and also like I just been listening to it in the gym. Like he's got like, but there's nothing on there that I'm like, this is amazing. I really do
Right.
like the song Hip Hop. That is one that I think Hip Hop is one that I'll probably blast in my car when I'm in Ohio driving because he's got some
So
bars in there.
that is the best song to me. That's the best song on the whole album.
Yeah, for sure.
And the thing about that song though is the best part about that song is not Lil Wayne, it's Big X the Plug.
Mm,
So it's
yeah,
like how is
that's
your
a fair
best song
point.
on your album gonna be a song you're not even the best part of?
Yeah.
Like, dang.
Yeah, I just can't. I guess I've lowered the standard. Even like, did you listen? Did Jacob? You might have listened. I don't know. Did you guys listen to the Death of Slim Shady last year?
No.
Yeah.
What'd you
Yeah, I
think of
did.
that one?
Um it was pretty good, but still nothing I would revisit, you know? Like I listened
Sure.
to it and I've never listened to it ever again.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, yeah. That album, like all the way through, I can't listen to more than like once or twice. But there were some songs. For me, it was like there were some songs on there that gave me the feel. Like he had a song called "Brand New Dance" that made me
Mm.
think of which one was it? Not Encore. I don't know. It just like very early 2000s like shady stuff, and then
Yeah.
also Houdini's catchy, but it's not like great. Now I got to revisit that album real quick.
See, like
But
Houdini, I like it's a catchy song, but like I'm like this is not Eminem. Like he's not a pop singer.
it's
Houdini, I feel like would be more of like a Post Malone song. Like anytime people ask me like people would ask me like, oh, Post Malone's a rapper. Like no, he's not a rapper. He's a hip hop artist. Like there's a difference between guys that rap and do hip hop.
oh, he's not really singing in Houdini. It's more like Houdini was more of like a play of like. I mean, the whole point of that album was like it's the death of Slim Shady. So he took like his old song and sped it up, and so maybe it sounded a little more singy, but like the music video is hilarious.
But like I don't remember any of the bars from that song. I remember
Sure,
the main
yeah.
chorus. I don't remember any of the bars.
Yeah, there's some bars in that one, but like on that one, I really liked Habits. I liked Brand New Dance, and Evil was dope. It's like I'm so evil, I'm so evil. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. That just reminded me of like Kim or something, like his old like terrible song where he would just go in.
So the thing that's like for me is certain this is I guess a thing for a lot of rappers and it's very similar to like boy bands, which is funny
Hmm.
because Eminem made a career out of like making fun of boy bands and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But it's like once you reach a certain age, it's not cool anymore, dude. Like I don't want to see NSYNC or Backstreet Boys at like 50 years old up there singing and dancing about young girls and shit. And I don't want to
Yeah.
see I also don't want to see 50-year-old Eminem up there like cussing and like saying crazy like all the like I want to hear Slim Shady, but it's like you're too old for that now, bro. Like you can't be as edgy and like crazy as you were because you're like an old man now, and now it's like weird, you know? Like
That's why
I don't know.
that's why I thought he did a good job killing it in that album. You know, like he was literally like, I'm not doing any more like that. You know, it's like the death
Right.
of it because
Yeah,
older
yeah.
people are mad at me for not doing it. Younger people are canceling me for it. Like all this, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that's true. I mean, he did theme it good, so that was good.
I felt like it needs to be like a music video. You know how like Michael Jackson used to do like whole like films for his albums. You know what I'm saying? Like Dangerous, there was like a whole
Yeah,
movie for it.
yeah,
Like that's what I want from that Eminem album because it would be so visually entertaining and it's like a story that he's telling and like him killing Slim Shady. Like some of the banter in between is so funny because it's like Shady has like Marshall tied to a chair and is like, "Stop! You're gonna get us canceled." And all this stuff. It's
yeah.
like I thought that was pretty funny. But look,
Speaking of
man,
like movies for albums or like for music, are you guys fans of Kanye at all? Yay.
I
My
used to be.
lawyer says I need to be careful on
Yeah, I
that.
feel
No,
it.
yeah, no, 100% Kanye. I'll always be a Kanye fan for his ideas, not his music. No, I'm just kidding. It's
For
only
sure.
for no his music. Yeah, I will never stop. But this year was the first year where I did have to take a break. I was like, I can't even listen to Graduation. Like I can't even. It doesn't matter. He's going too crazy. But he tweeted. He said he's done with it. So we're back. Anyway, go
So,
ahead.
so a couple months ago, and I can't remember the name of the project, and like I heard it was like half AI and like half real, or like maybe the whole thing was AI. I have no idea, but there was like, and it was attached to this like short film, which kind of ties back into wrestling because it was like this 30-minute black and white film. Not even really a film; it's just a scene of this kid in a wrestling ring, and like all these like masked wrestlers are like just diving in the ring, like trying to get at him, and he's just like punching them. He's like this kid just like taking them all out, and it's like kind of like slow motion, and he's just like 30 minutes of this going on. He's just like fighting these wrestlers in this ring, and it's all to the out this like AI Kanye album. And like, dude, some of the songs on there were fire. Like I'm bumping them like they're still in my
And it's
rotation.
AI. It's not
I
real.
I guess I'm not even
Oh
sure,
my
but so
gosh.
I know he
That's
just
crazy.
released Donda 2 because Dave hit me up and was like, "Did you listen to Donda 2?" And I was like, "I didn't even know that was out." So I listened to Donda 2, and it's okay. I would say it's better than Carter 6, but it wasn't like, to me it wasn't mind blowing, but whatever that AI or whatever album I'm talking about was, I thought that was even better than Donda 2. So
Insane.
whatever that was, he needs to keep doing that.
It's insane, man. I did listen to Donna too. There's some songs on there. I don't know, man. I think it's we're getting old. Our heroes are getting old, and it's like
Right.
it's crazy, man. It's crazy to see John Cena age the way that he does, you know. And that's how I feel like he looks so. He's still in great shape, but he just looks so like he's. It's been like squeezed out of him, you know. And I
That's
think
what
that's what's
happens when you stop
happening.
juicing so much.
I think yeah, but I'm just saying in anything, like even with our favorite artists, like I think that's what's happening.
Right.
Uh, but there is a man that's gonna have that's still not too old. He's fine. He's in his 40s. People act like he just died because of a beef that he definitely lost last year. But Drake's coming back this year with Iceman, and I cannot
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm curious. And we don't, you know, we can. I mean, we're running low on time, but I would love to have you on again in the future and talk more hip hop and stuff because for me growing up, your music was very much on my playlist all the time, and I
Thank you.
revisit that sometimes, and I'm like, damn, Joey is so talented, and I think you should still be rapping personally because I think you still got a lot to offer. You got bars, but I know you're also producing your daughter now. So with that, I'm just kind of curious, man. If you want to talk briefly, we have a few minutes. Like your
Yeah.
inspiration, what inspires you, like musically, like what's like for hip hop when you were doing it, and now how it's kind of going, like with my niece. We won't say her name if you don't want to, but or first name maybe, but she's also making the thumbnails for our videos, so
I was
really
about to say
appreciate
that.
that. I'm sliding her some money under the table every once in a while. So we got a business
Right.
deal with Maddie. I think you know about that. Maybe she
Yeah,
told you.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys got
Yeah.
that going. Yeah, for me, music, like, I was inspired in high school by like all the rappers I was listening to, Lil Wayne and Jeezy and Gucci and like all these different guys, and a couple guys that, my school were rapping and stuff. I just kind of got into it, and I found a guy with a studio, and I was able to start rapping. I made, obviously, like a lot of songs. Did that for a lot of years. We did a lot of cool shows from Canton, Cleveland, Akron, like kind of went like all over different places in Northeast Ohio and had a lot of fun with it. And for a long time, like rap was like my main thing, but uh I feel like it was like the death of my parents that I was like, all right, I'm gonna like really like go back and revisit some of the rock music and stuff that they loved. And then I found
Mm.
myself like on this whole journey of like classic rock and like all kinds of different subgenres of that. And then when my grandpa died a couple years ago, I found myself like, all right, let me like really give country a try that I never really gave a chance before. And like now I find myself listening to country all the time, like even the old
Really?
stuff. Like I love outlaw country and stuff. Like it's
Wow.
I'm really into that. So it's like I've pivoted a lot, and like I haven't really been rapping or writing any songs like that. I still help other people write from time to time.
Hmm.
But a few years ago I started playing guitar, and I've been like just, fiddling around, learning over it. I knew it would take me a couple years to get fluid
Sure.
enough to be able to like make music with a guitar. and I'm finally, getting close enough to that point. I've written some songs and stuff. So my hope is to come back with like, being a whole new genre. And like, I think the songs that I write are kind of like a little more folky or like,
Hmm.
I don't know, softer type of rock, like nothing too heavy. But, I found myself in recent years kind of just absorbing all kinds of different musical genres. And it's been awesome. Like you said, we'll mention her, Maddie. She goes by Maddie K. That's her music name, and that's my daughter, and she's found her own love for music, and I think that's really awesome because it's like I didn't necessarily try to push that on her or guide her into that. She kind of just did that on her own, and I think music runs in our family. My grandpa was a songwriter. I'm a songwriter. She's a songwriter, and it just goes on down the line. And she's amazing, and the stuff that she's writing at 15 years old is like far beyond her years as far as
Right.
like content and like what she's talking about in her songs. Like when I was 15 writing my first rap songs, I was just like trying to sound as cool as I could and like just straight lying like I got money, I got
I
girls, like
remember
I'm
that
the
first song, bro.
I'm
My
the coolest
boys.
dude. Yeah, like I just
It
wanted
was
to sound
cool.
like a cool rapper, and it's like her music has actual content and feeling and like she'll make you cry with a song and it's like I wasn't able to even write something like that until just like recent years, in my 30s. So,
I was gonna say I saw the one video Ali posted of her doing the song at her school where her
yeah.
one friend's playing the piano. She's
Yeah.
really good. She's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Thank you. Yeah, she's excellent. And she actually that song, so like I said, my grandpa was a songwriter and I'm fortunate enough like he left a folder of like songs that he wrote. And so I let Maddie, kind of pick through them and she was able to pick one out that she liked and he twisted it into her own thing and made it her own and I think that's just super awesome. Like I wish he was here to see it because that's a cool full circle moment.
That
Yeah.
is so cool, man. So his music lives on. That's so
Right.
dope.
Right.
That's so dope. It's interesting you kind of saying this, and I know you're not gonna like this comparison, but you started out rap, scrappy boy, in the inner city Akron, right? And I mean, look, we
I
all
know what
grew up
he's gonna
in
say.
Northeast
Yeah.
Ohio, right? But there's a guy that gets a lot of criticism, bro. And you actually bumped shoulders with him in the rap scene in Northeast Ohio, named
Yeah.
Colson Baker, I think is his name.
I was gonna say,
Uh,
didn't you almost do a song with him?
well, okay.
I
Actually,
had
tell
some
me
like
about
brief.
MGK and tell me about that interaction and everything, because I know you did some festivals and he was around. Like before
Yeah.
anyone knew who he was, you were already like in that.
Right. Right. So like, doing local shows and stuff like that and just being involved in the Northeast Ohio rap scene, like obviously I saw his entire rise. Like I was doing stuff before like anyone I knew had ever heard of him or like maybe even before. I don't know when he like actually started, but I can remember like I was already like in it when I heard like, oh, this dude's coming up. So like his rise was like really meteoric and like obviously he took off and I'm not a fan of him. I really never have been. I got to be honest. Like I don't like his music and just judging off like who I see him as like on in videos or like on TV. Like I kind of am not a fan, but respect that he came out of our area, a young white dude rapping and everything. My interaction with him, the main one that always comes to my mind is he actually did a show like a block from my house, and I wanted to be on that show, and I messaged him afterwards, and I was like, dude, like what, like I could have been on this show, like I live like a block away, dude. You remember Freeze Teen Club?
I do remember that. I
Yeah,
totally forgot about that, dude.
yeah, yeah. And he was like, dude, take it up with my manager. And I was like, all right. I was like, well, this dude's officially like trying to big time people, so
I was gonna
yeah.
say, yeah.
It's interesting, man, because I remember he was like he was the talk of like the town, like when I was in high school, and he like jumped, yeah, kind of out of nowhere, because you were already doing stuff, and I had
Yeah.
not heard of him, and then sophomore year, my buddy introduced. He had one song that I really liked about Cleveland that I thought
Mm,
was so dope. And then like my buddies just like ran with it, and then I remember, I mean, the whole time I was like, damn, this guy's good, but like Joey's way better than this. We got to get Joey, like, more eyes on Joey and stuff like that, which it was also harder too. Like his circumstances were way different. Like he was like not living with his baby mama and kid or whatever. He was kind of a
right, right.
terrible guy, honestly. So he was just out doing his own thing. But anyway, it is kind of crazy to see that rise, bro, because like personally, like I just at the time like and I still think like you have so much talent, man, and you know I know God has us where we're at for a reason, and like obviously you're a great father and husband, and like you're my brother-in-law, and like it's like you know God's using you where you're at and everything, but I think that like your talent goes far beyond what you might have ever like recognition that you got, and so I do want to say that. But dude, the thing about MGK though is I feel like this with Cena, when these dudes come from like you know more gritty like working class like upbringings, and then they're away for too long, they like forget, and like he's just kind of weird now. He's like
So
he's
weird.
so weird, and like John
Yeah.
Cena's pretty weird now. Like
Yeah.
and like I'm fans of these guys personally, but it's just like they're weird. They're like out of touch, and it's just like
Right.
Hollywood changes people. And I just don't ever want that to be me. One thing I love about
Right.
New York, I mean, I'm broke in New York. It's like I live in New York, but I'm still like, I'm like one of these like guys that's like, the kids these days, you know, like I'm still not
Yeah,
with it.
and
But
there was a
I don't feel like
time
that's
in
a
my
broke
life
statement.
where-
That's an old man statement.
yeah, I'm an old broke man in New York.
Yeah, there was a time when I wanted like that, like MGK basically was like living the dream that I wanted, you know, to like come out of this
Yeah.
area, blow up. Like he just was on Carter 6. I thought his chorus on there was absolute garbage. I was like, way to just suck, dude.
I
Like,
know.
you-
It
like
was, yeah.
man, I said that to someone. I was like, it used to be my dream, like to be on a song with Lil Wayne, and I'm like, how dare you waste that opportunity? You suck.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I don't, you know, like you said, Hollywood is weird, and everyone there just seems so odd and weird. And I used to want to be like have money and be famous and stuff when I was like a teenager, and like now that I'm older and like I have the life that I want. I'm happy to have a family and a house and like just live like a modest, normal lifestyle, you know. And it's like I couldn't even imagine like all the things they have to deal with press and shows and like just all the different things that go into being famous and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, you got the money, but is it even worth it? Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like the poor guy had to date Megan Fox. Like, it sounds terrible. Like, bro, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
and then
she's a little weird too. I mean, they're drinking each
she's
other's
very
blood
weird.
and stuff. So,
Ah,
I mean,
it's so weird, man. Well, look, man, this has been a lot of fun. I would love in the future, man, for us to bring some lights, some cameras, and do a live pod from your man cave with all
yeah, that would
with
be
all that
awesome,
stuff
dude.
there.
I love what you guys are doing. Like that's why I wanted to be on this. Like I think you guys are doing some great stuff here. This is really cool. I would love to like get back on one day in the future and like kind of moderate, ask you guys some questions and like find out some more stuff from you guys and stuff. So like that would be really cool. So let me
I
know
love
about
it,
that.
man.
For sure.
I love it, man. And we can do it in person when I'm in town. We can set something up. But yeah, man, this has been a lot of fun. Before we go, Joey, any last plugs if you want to like plug the Collectors Cartel again or anything going on with?
Yeah. If you guys are on TikTok, anybody wants to follow me on there, it's at Collectors Cartel. And also, like I said, we got the other one going now. If you're into maintenance tips and like figuring out how to do home improvements, and also just getting motivated each day to like do what you need to do, hearing cool quotes and stuff like that, we got the 3M_crew also on TikTok. So I'm doing both those things. Obviously, want to plug my daughter real quick. She wants to get on here one day. She was just complaining. She was like, "How'd you get on? I can't get on." So
Well, she
you
has to have
guys-
a permission slip signed by her
Yeah.
parents first.
I'll
Once she's
get it
16.
signed. But yeah, Maddie K got some new music coming soon, so be looking out for that on all music platforms. And yeah, I think that's about it, man.
I appreciate it, bro. Jacob, any closing thoughts, statements?
Yeah, just be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've been stuck at 23 for months now, so if you're watching this, hit subscribe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
we're
get you
good-
guys up there.
That's right. Oh, bro, we're about to tag the Collectors Cartel. We're about to get hella fans.
We're blowing
in
up,
here, bro.
dude.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Well, folks, this has been a great one. Again, this has been the Half Brothers Podcast. Until next time, thank you. Have a nice day and keep smiling. Peace.
Peace.